Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway. Listen to the Broadway Beat. Broadway makes you wanna move your feet. Everybody's tapping into everything that's happening on Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway Beat, and welcome to our final show of the 2008-2009 season. We'll be back in the fall with brand new shows as we kick off our 20th season, bringing you the very best of the New York theater scene. So this week we'll meet the company of City Center Encore's Summer Stars production, which is the 1974 Tony Award-winning musical The Wiz, starring pop sensation Ashanti, Orlando Jones, and LaShans. But let's start things off at the Ambassador Theater at the debut performance of Grey's Anatomy star Shandra Wilson, who has stepped into the role of matron Mama Morton through July 5th in the hit revival of the John Kander, Fred Ebb, Bob Fosse musical Chicago. We caught up with Chandra and her co-stars Charlotte D'Amboise and Amr Faye Wright.
Ask any of the chickies in my pen. They'll tell you I'm the biggest mother hen. I love them all, and all of them love me. Because the system works, the system called reciprocity. Got a little motto, always sees me through. When you're good to mama, mama's good to you.
Welcome home to Broadway. How does it feel?
I love that it's called coming home, you know. I just feel in a really honored position. The show, Chicago, is just in such great shape on its own, so being able to come in and play with the cast and, you know, add whatever my little 2 cents is, I've just been so well received, and I couldn't ask for a better job right now.
Tell me what attracted you to Mama Morton to want to play this role.
I tell you, the thing that I've been learning about her in the last week or so is that her main concern is how is she going to get paid. So whatever it is she has to say or do, or convince somebody else to say or do so she can get paid, you know, that's her goal. So that's a lot of fun to explore on stage.
You know, you have done so much work on Broadway and in the New York theater scene. Then you went to Hollywood. What has it like been coming back? Like, what was tonight? How did you feel tonight?
That's what it really is kind of strange to me. You know, I've never been in this position before where, like you said, it's like a coming back and, you know, all the fanfare. I still feel like just part of the ensemble, you know, and just wanting to contribute my little piece to the whole. So, you know, to have quotation marks around my name is, you know, it's just weird for somebody who's, you know, just kind of used to adding. So, but I understand it and I appreciate it and, you know, completely grateful for it. But, yeah, it's still very strange to me.
You know, this revival is getting ready to hit 13 years with running on Broadway. Why do you think this show is so popular and touches audiences so deep?
Wow. I mean, it's just a timeless piece. You know, it's a simple piece as well that lets the audience use their imaginations and, you know, go along with the storyline and you don't miss anything. And it just stands on its own. It's a complete piece and it never changes.
You know, what's exciting about you coming back to Broadway is there are many people who will come to see Chicago for the very first time because you're in it, and they will have never seen anything live, and you will change their lives. I mean, I'm sure it's like, how does that make you feel?
Like I was saying, I understand that that's completely a possibility. The other part of me is like, what? What do you mean? But I completely embrace that because live theater, there's nothing like it. And if my name can contribute to somebody showing up, then fantastic because there's just absolutely nothing like it, especially with Chicago. A lot of people know the movie, but they don't know what it's like to see it on stage. And it's just a fantastic piece.
Whatever happened to old values
and fine morals
and good breeding?
Now no one even says oops when they're passing their gas. Whatever happened to class? Class. Ah, there ain't no gentleman that's fit for any use. And any girl a touch your privates for a deuce. And even kids'll kick your shins and give you sass. Nobody's got no class.
All you read about today is rape and theft.
Jesus Christ. Ain't there no decency left? Nobody's got no class.
One of my favorite highlights of the show is class that the two of you do. What was that like doing tonight?
Oh, well, it was wonderful. I mean, every time you do class with a new mama, it takes on a new dimension. And tonight was with her opening. We're still feeling, this what normally happens is you still feel for a few shows. You still start to feel, okay, they're breathing there. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. And we try and find a way that we start to meld into one cohesive number. But tonight it just happened without any of that, jarring here, moving here, there, moving there, breathe. What is she doing? What am I doing? And it was really quite extraordinary. And that is obviously because Chandra's just so relaxed.
Your Velma is flawless. I mean, I've seen so many Velmas over the years. Tell me what you love about her and playing her.
Well, I guess it's a different playing someone as bold and as apparently strong as Velma has so many undercurrents to it that you can explore. And the longer I play Velma, the more I find about her character that I can really begin to understand and feel like she's more a part of me than I realized when I first started playing her. There's so many vulnerabilities, so many aspects of her character that it caused her to behave the way she does. And the longer I play her, the more I find these little gems, these pearls of her character that I can hold on to and maybe move in another direction. So it never becomes something that I feel tired of doing because it just keeps growing.
Chicago's get almost 13 years for this revival. Why do you think it remains so popular?
Well, certainly the producers know how to do this, and they have their methods of doing it, which has kept me in a job, and so I'm eternally grateful. But not only that, the fact of the matter is that Chicago is a brilliant piece of theater. It has everything going for it. It has the show-stopping numbers. It has the storyline, which is going to be as relevant now as in 10 years' time as it was 10 years ago. And all of these factors coming together, make it into something that people are going to continue coming to see.
Me and my baby and me, we're about as happy as babies can be. What if I find that I'm caught in a storm? I don't care, my baby's there and baby's bound to keep me warm. We're sticking together and ain't we got fun? So much together, you'd count us as one. Tell old man Worry to go climb a tree, 'cause I got my baby, my dear little baby. Look at my baby and me.
You know what? It's such a great show, and I love to come back years later and find new things, and I can do that with this role, which is great because I'm so free in it, and I can different ages in my life because I think I started it around 12 years ago. So I was a very different person, and you just sort of evolve, and it allows you to do that. So I love it. I just love it. And I come in for a short time, and then I leave, and I come back, and I do it with different people, and it's always a different experience. And it's always fun to be sexy and wear sexy clothes. That, mind you, was up my butt tonight, but that's all right. Yeah, it's good. It's always makes you feel good, It always does.
Well, tell me what it was like tonight. I mean, Shandra Wilson, brand new company member to the Chicago family. What tonight was like?
Well, it's interesting because we have many people that come in and different, and she was such a pro. Broadway pros come in, they go up on lines. I mean, she was perfect. She was so confident and solid, and I'm so impressed with her. I can't even believe it. No wonder she's a big star, because you know what? She is. She's just solid. She's like a solid actress. She's a solid actress. So it was fun, and plus it's nice to have, you know, people come and stars come and see the show again, and it kind of brings another light under it, and it's nice. And she's a light, you know, she's a real light to the show right now. So, yeah.
It's so great to see your Roxy again tonight. I love the section. Well, that too. That's always a pleasure to see. No, but the dance part of the Roxy, that whole middle section, is that.
Yeah.
When did you work on that? And did you work on it with Anne Reinking? How did it all work?
That has been an evolution that I've sort of done on my own. Yeah, it's been something. Annie once said to me at one point, why don't you go dance for Amos? That was kind of how it started. So I just sort of, it used to be kind of, and then it sort of became this sort of narcissistic dance that ended up being kind of her nightmares and but ultimately so into herself that she just goes into her own world, and it just evolved over time. It's just evolved. It kind of gets crazier and crazier.
You can like the life you're living. You can live the life you like. You can even marry Harry, but mess around with Ike. Oh, and that's good. Isn't it grand? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? But nothing stays. In 50 years or so, it's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays.
Dear lad, believe it, for they shall yet belie thy happy years that say thou art a man. Diana's lip is not more smooth and rubious. Thy small pipe is as the maiden's organ, shrill and sound. And all is semblative a woman's part. I know thy constellation is right apt for this affair. Some 2 or 3 attend him, all, if you will. For I myself am best when least in company. Prosper well in this, and thou shalt live as freely as thy lord, to call his fortunes thine.
I'll do my best to woo your lady.
I will drop in his way some obscure epistles of love, wherein by the shape of his leg, the manner of his gait, the expression of his eye, complexion, forehead, he will find himself most feelingly personated. I can write very like my lady, your niece. On a forgotten matter, we can hardly make distinction of our hands.
Excellent! I smell a divine.
I have it in my nose, too.
Ye shall think by the letters that thou wilt drop that they come from my niece and that she's in love with him.
My purpose is indeed a horse of that color.
There's something in me that reproves my fault, but such a headstrong, potent fault it is that it but mocks reproof.
With the same behavior that your passion bears goes on my master's griefs.
Here, wear this jewel for me. 'Tis my picture. refuse it not. It hath no tongue to vex you. And I beseech you, come again tomorrow. What shall you ask of me that I'll deny? That honor saved may upon asking give.
Nothing but this, your true love for my master.
This season's City Center Encores Summer Stars production is the 1974 Tony Award-winning rock and soul musical The Wiz, based on The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It features a book by William F. Brown and a score by Charlie Smalls. It stars pop sensation Ashanti as Dorothy, film and television star Orlando Jones as The Wiz, and Tony Award winner LaShans as Glinda. We caught up with the company during a break in rehearsal, and you can ease on down the road to City Center and see The Wiz now through July 5th.
In harmony to the world we can live in peace. It's such a chance for us to live so independently. Our freedom. I'm singing so joyfully. Just look about. You owe it to yourself to check in. Can you feel a brand new day? Can you feel a brand new day?
We have a slamming cast, seriously, a slamming cast. But as far as my history with the show, my parents took me to see the tour in San Francisco, because I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, when I was 5 years old. Then I saw the movie, and I have been chasing the lion since I was 10 years old. My mother, when I was 10, made a lion costume, and I sang Me No Lion at the church talent show. So the fact that I'm playing the lion now is nothing but a blessing.
Well, Ada Pearl is that favorite auntie that everybody has who gets you to do things that probably your mom and dad have been trying to get you to do, but she just makes everything fun. She's wacky, she's fun, she's the Auntie Mame kind of person, and she just makes a frightened child feel more comfortable and enabled to go out and do what she knows she has to do.
Fantastic powers at his command. Da, 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 da. And I'm sure that he will understand. He's the Wiz and he lives in us.
It's been an amazing ride so far. Like, I just look all the time to my left, to my right, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm in the room with all these people. And then I take a second, like, I can't believe I'm playing this role. Like, it's a role. Actually, when I was little, I wanted to be the lion because I thought he had a better song. So clearly I grew into the Scarecrow, but it's been amazing so far. The music is so amazing. The actors are so amazing. The dancers are out of this world. And we all come together. There's just so much magic there. So I'm learning so much from all these veterans and dancers. It's going to be an amazing journey and a lot of growth for all of us. And we can't wait to share it with everybody. It's going to be out of this world.
Come on, ease on down the road. Come on, ease on down the road. There ain't nothing that might be alone. Come on, ease on down the road.
The Tin Man has, he's had a hard life. And he's now trying to get a heart, and he's trying to get the ability to feel. And while I've been blessed I'm in touch with my feelings, I know what it's like to have something and for it to go away and to want to long for having that back. So I think that's where I connect with the Tin Man, and what a great journey he goes on.
Come on, slide some more down my throat and let me lubricate my mind. And let me lubricate my mind. And let me lubricate my mind.
Well, I did a play called Out of This World years ago with Andrea Martin and Mary Maisie. It was wonderful. We had a great time. But Encores has changed since then. Back then, I wore my own dress. I had carried my script in my hand. The orchestra was on stage, and we just read the play. Now, Encores has bloomed into this amazing experience here in New York. This theater, I want to say it's become a force. Everyone knows that when you mention Encores, you're going to see something special, and you're going to see something with great talent, and you're going to see something that hasn't been done in a while. So it's great to be able to come back and do The Wiz at Encores.
Then click your heels 3 times if you've
is one of everyone's all-time favorite musicals. Every person that, even if I just say The Wiz, they're like, ooh, you get all kinds of reactions from people about doing The Wiz because it is something that everyone has listened to. So many of us that love the theater, we've listened to it, we grew up on these songs, we all know these songs. Stephanie Mills had this amazing career based on her launch from this play, from this musical, so everyone has their own personal story with it. Mine, like so many others, is I just grew up being a musical theater baby, loving the theater. I grew up singing these songs, all of them. It's been difficult for me to contain myself in rehearsals because I'm playing Glinda and I'm playing Annie M. So I come in the show at the top and at the bottom. But I know every ensemble piece backstage. I keep begging Tommy to let me in Emerald City. He's not going to let me do it, but I want to be in Emerald City. And they won't let me, but I just love this show so much, every single part of it. It's really been a great treat for me.
It's hard to say when I think of and talk about The Wiz, because it sounds like you're quoting it, but there's something about the energy that just pours out of this score, and there's something about the connection to really human joy, just pure human joy, that I found even sitting in my apartment, listening and letting it wash over me. I thought that's what I want to be around. I want to try to help put my foot forward to put this out into the world, because it's a show that has brought so many people so much joy, and there's such an affection for it. I thought, well, here's our chance to honor the material. It's all there. We just have to go and make it. But if you get the best people you can, and we've been fortunate to have them all in this company, we just have to kind of go and do the work. So once I started thinking about the work that I wanted to be around, The Wiz all of a sudden kept emerging and popping into my consciousness. So I was thrilled to have the opportunity.
Don't you never, 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 never bring me no back. No.
Wow, I'm playing the role of Eveline, and I just pray to God I can do her justice. The Wicked Witch of the East. Mabel King, of course, just put her foot in it, and I'm just hoping that I can do it some justice. The Wiz is a production that I've watched since being a little girl, and it's, music and songs and a feeling that just has grown up with me. So to be able to have a piece of work that's so indelible in your mind and comes so naturally to you, to be able to play that and act it out on stage and sing it, I'm elated. I can't wait.
I never saw a production of The Wiz before working on the show, but what I've always known as the music, I grew up as a child of the 70s, and so my dance studio had the album, my house had the album, so I knew the music inside and out. And so the music, the score of The Wiz kind of paralleled like my inspiration for dance and my thriving for dance. And that very 70s hunger that's packed in the music is something that I've always felt about dance. And so the idea of working on a show that's that jam-packed with hunger and thirst and joy is really, really exciting to me. And the score is just so thick and it's so well-rounded that it's, as a choreographer, it's great to know that the material is going to be there for you, and that the blueprint of the material is so exciting that it challenges you in a big way.
Your eyes open and the magic you will see. Whistle on the wind as it emanates from me. It's a strong vibration. You can feel it on your skin. So come and take my hand. We will dance.
What was your history of knowing this show?
I think a lot of it was through my mom. We would go on a family trip and she would put on Ease On Down the Road. And I guess I knew all of the songs, but hadn't seen it, and obviously then she showed me the movie. And I'd seen a few different productions of it. So I kind of had this history of the show like I was around during the original, but I think everybody kind of feels that way. You kind of know the tunes, you know the songs. But for me, it's just a part of my family history.
And let's just talk about, you're playing the iconic role, The Wiz, created by Mr. Andre DeShields. Talk about him. I know you're just working on him, just like the third or fourth day of rehearsal. Sure. What attracted you to that role, and what it's been like working on him?
It's an interesting and very difficult role for a lot of different reasons. One, because he's sort of the bad guy in the piece. And then you later sort of obviously realize that he doesn't have any power, and he's just an ordinary person who lost his way very much as Dorothy did. So, it's one of those pieces that I think at first glance you go, oh, The Wiz is just going to be fun. You just talk through the microphone and hide behind the smoke and mirrors. But I think the parts where you're actually interacting with the Tin Man and Dorothy and the Scarecrow and the Lion are really kind of the heart of the show, because it kind of gets to the core of those people who kind of lost their way and are hiding behind a mask of themselves. So it's a great show and a lot of fun, and obviously Mr. DeShields created what I think is an enduring character.
The Wiz is a little before my time. My cousin actually introduced it to me. We used to watch it over and over and over in my aunt's basement. I was about 8 years old, so that's kind of like when I got introduced. And it just means so much, like, to my family. It's history, so we're all kind of connected.
And this great role and this great score that you get to sing. Talk a little bit about some of the songs you do.
Home. The Lion song is my favorite. I gotta admit, I love that song, and it speaks to so many different people. So many different people can relate to, sometimes you don't have courage, you don't feel so courageous, you need someone to kind of give you a hug and give you that boost. So I love the message. And again, it's so ironic that, back in 74-ish when it came out, these songs people can relate right here in 2009, so that's definitely a plus.
My final question for you is what your Encores experience has been like so far. I mean, you're in really great hands with these people, but you threw yourself into this thing where you have so little rehearsal. What's it been like so far?
It's been very hectic, it's a lot of pressure, but in a good way, and fortunately I'm blessed because the cast is amazing, very helpful. All the girls are like, down, this is a family, this is teamwork, and everyone wants to do the best that they can, and definitely shows because we're all working as a unit, which is a plus.
Can you feel a brand new day?